11th of June, 1831. Eternal soul, since childhood I recall, in search of the miraculous sublime, not light itself, but light's delusions all, in which I dwelt for minutes at a time. And torments filled those moments, as it seems, that occupies such enigmatic dreams amongst those instants, but like peace, the dream within could never find release. How often, summoned by some ghost refrain, I lived another age, another chance, forgot the world, and time again, when starting from a heavy-hearted trance, I wept. But all those restless visions, held by flesh and viewed through rents and scissions, did not seem like creatures who could dwell on earth. All in them was holy or from hell. In simple prose, a man cannot describe internal strife, but I hear other tones sufficiently resounding to imbibe ambrosia. I feel this bag of bones, exalted passions, and still undeclared, struck dumb, but now I am prepared to sacrifice myself to something good, though its shadow flee into the wood. Fame and glory, what are they but lies? Yet in them is something that compels the willing victim to the sacrifice. My days are a continuum of hells, lacking purpose, but yet faced by choice. Still I believe it. This compelling voice, a summons to eternity, each breath relinquishing all earthly gifts to death. And for the eternal there's no grave. When I'm ashes, these outlandish dreams, though still paradoxical, are brave and blessed by angels. Seems you won't die with me, and my love will carry you to spaces up above. To your name my legend will be linked, for after death our souls are indistinct. For the dead there's peace at last. A son shall worship what his father once despised. This is how the race of life is run, in order that each force be neutralized. A person, whether yet advanced in years, mere blossom to be scattered, and all fears are equally contemptible. A womb is just a staging post towards the tomb. So, with the formation of a soul, by a river facing the abyss, watching as the rapid waves cajole the blue into the white with noisome hiss. And above that foaming turbid tide I stood and listened, dazed, preoccupied, lost amidst the unremitting din which scattered all the restless thoughts within. There was I content. If I could only forget the unforgettable, her glance, source of all distress, why I am lonely, known by her across the wide expanse of time, and destined here to love her and her alone. To God above I pray for torments new, yet these allied, that ghost that still continues to reside. No one cares for me, not then or now, burdensome to others and a devil. Anguish divagates upon my brow. I am cold and proud and even evil, like the crowd, but is it of her art to daringly transpierce into my heart? Could she even know its rightful name, since there are fire and shadow all the same? Across the sky a dark cloud brings a chill, but in its heart it hides a deadly fire, which bursting forth attenuates to nil all that it meets. With swift desire flashes and is covered once again. And who can such phenomena explain? And who has eyes to stare into the dark? Why try, they disappear without a mark. Harrowing my entrails, bittersweet my journey's end, at which extremity the soul's condemned to wander and to meet its kindred spirits, and where to be free. But who has loved me? Who my plaintive voice has heard and understood and felt my joys? I see that love for me is like a taint, which from the weaker could not bear restraint. Many lovers do not trust the world, and so are happy. Others feel desire engendered in their blood and outwards swirled in brain disorder or creative fire. Love of all the passions most divine, yet a thing I never could define. Seems a love can take but one sure course, at fever pitch with all my psychic force. But I could not be weaned from such deceptions. My unimpassioned heart would throb in vain. To its beat amongst the lacerations pipes there still love's long revered refrain. As from dreary ruins springs a birch, youthful, spry, beguiling from her perch. Like a ray of hope she greens the rones and titivates the melancholy stones. And for her fate the nameless interloper mourns, poor defenseless devotee. Under sultry blasts and lack of hope, she wilts and withers, my tenacious tree. But from her spot she will not be effaced, as whirlwinds surge, she's sturdy at her base. For only in a broken heart desire can burn with potent everlasting fire. The proud soul does not tire or yield to gloom, but bears its heavy load with resignation. To its fate it will not yet succumb, but still persists in breath its vindication. Dueling with the absolute it fails, but may in losing and by such travails inspire 1,000 vassals to rebel. Such are souls in heaven or in hell. I have always loved the empty places, where the wind caresses naked hills, where the kite, ascending airy spaces, essence of the speckled steppe distills. Here the skittish herd no yoke constrains, and frolicking above the mottled plains, the raptor rushes straight out of the blue, hoving between clouds and into view. Colossus-like, eternity bestrides impermanence to strike the mind of man. The boundless ocean of the steppe elides description, turning blue across its span, sounding universal harmony, and this for us is suffering or bliss. All becomes transparent, but this weight will count when we present ourselves to fate. Who has ever sat among the peaks in that hour when day holds precious light, gazed westwards where the bright planet leaps into the sky, while shades of looming night gather in the east, the scarps, ravines, beams glinting all around the tops of loftiest extremes, and where the weird crown of cloud alights after the storm, the rays glancing in the heights. For him, a heavy heart of former years, full and beating fiercely, this mad ideal breathes life into a skeleton, the same tears and almost all the beauty of the real. Just as the vain man's hungry gaze retains the image of his portrait, though not much remains of likeness to the eye's bright lustre on the board portrayed, and that long effaced by time as vital passions fade. Is anything on earth more splendid than these pyramids of nature, majestic snowy pinnacles whose flanks may disappear amidst the mist, but no man's victories or miracles compare to what is seen there, where clouds seem like crowds and lightning wreathes the beam of light that tops the rocks? Nothing imaginary is real, and he who has seen heaven need not fear the corporeal. But the steppe, when unbounded, causes unease, with its mile upon mile of waving feathergrass, no purpose in the meandering northeast breeze as it kicks up dust willy-nilly in its path, and where all around how cruelly to the eye is lacking the sight of 2 or 3 birch trees backing into the distance under the bluish haze and fading to black in the emptying of days.